Hey, beautiful people. Welcome to Sorcery Salon. If this is the first time that you have tuned in, my name is Jennifer Kramer Lewis, and somehow you are friends with me on Facebook or following me on Facebook. And then these are also being ported over to Instagram and my YouTube channel. So if you find any of this valuable, any of it, I would recommend that you subscribe. And also, this is a part of a 9-part series, and so we're almost done this 9-part series talking about sorcery, you as the source of your life, you as the source of everything. And yeah, today we're going to talk about relationship serenity and having deep, abiding, lasting peace and serenity in your personal relationships. Maybe for the first time in your actual life. And so why is this later in the program? Well, I really feel like there's some cleaning up that we need to do before we talk about creating serenity. We need to actually address the fact that there isn't serenity in your life, or maybe there isn't serenity in your life right now. And we want you to be able to finally relax into being loved correctly. So what would that be like for you to have a correct, loving relationship? Well, I will tell you, it feels great when you have it. It feels really great when you have it. And especially when you know what the elements are for you. Like, what is it that you need to feel deeply loved? And I can tell you, for me, it's in my chart. I need to feel a connection. I need to be part of the whole. And so if I have a partner that's like taking care of everything and don't worry about it, don't talk to me about my life, don't include yourself in my life, I've got it all handled, that actually doesn't work for me. I want to be in the nitty-gritty with my love partner. And, you know, like when they're not doing well, I can, of course, feel that. I'm a very sensitive being. And so, you know, if I had a partner that wasn't including me in their process, which I have had over the years, that's very difficult for me. I need to be included in the process because I have all of this information all of the time about like, let's try something different. Let's try something different. And so what is that for you to be able to just feel relaxed, feel lovable, feel able to be yourself? And so why this is later in the program is because if you're not sovereign, which is the first part of the process, then, you know, you're making choices based on things that need to get fixed, or choices based on, not the correct energy, which is the sorcery part. And then now serenity, we're making choices based on peace. We're making choices based on what makes us feel relaxed, what makes us feel lovable, what makes us feel able to be ourselves in an intimate relationship. So I wonder what that would feel like. And questions for you are, do you feel consistently lovable? Do you? And are you aware of the elements that your body needs to feel in order to feel lovable? I mean, you can advocate for it. And if people come and they give you the frequency that you are looking for, because now you know what the frequency is, then isn't that just so kind when you think about it? It's just like, okay, you're putting your order out to the universe. Now you finally know, or we finally know what it feels like to be lovable. And that's just so key, you guys. I think probably 99.999% of what we're here to be and do is experience love in polarity. Because on the other side, where there's no gravity, you know, like it's just infinite love, then you get down here and there is gravity. And gravity in the sense like things are serious. And also gravity like earth gravity. And then there's also polarity. And so, and our childhoods and like all of the things. And so if you don't know how to advocate for that, which we would be doing in the first 2 parts of the program, now we're here. And at this part of the program, we're actually identifying your non-negotiable needs in relationships and creating peaceful boundaries for those to be met. And so because you've gone through getting yourself free, and then you've also gone through the sorcery phase where you are looking at yourself as the source and the energies of you as the source of yourself in relationship to other people, you can have your boundaries met. And so if those people aren't meeting your boundaries, at this point in time, we're going to go at them again from the place of peace. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes you don't actually have to be a warrior for your own peace, but you do have to be able to advocate. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes, like, it makes me think of Gandhi, right? Like, I don't know if you've ever studied Gandhi. It was like peaceful protest and not getting into fights with people anymore. You're like, ole, I can see you trying to have a fight with me, but I'm just not going to do that. That doesn't add to my life. And so I remember somebody saying this to me, like a thought process of like, I'm not going to be that for you. So, when somebody wants to bring you not peace, somebody wants to bring you chaos in relationships, you don't actually have to agree to be that for them. And when you stand firm but peaceful in your process, which I'm just going to be so excited to show you how you do that, it becomes easy because your aura is full of this energy of like, it's a very peaceful, like, don't fuck with me. Isn't that awesome? Like, you think about Gandhi, like, go and have a look at what he was doing. It was a very, very peaceful, don't fuck with me. You're not going to be able to change me. You're not going to be able to sway me. You're not going to be able to get me to do the old things that I used to do. This is me pretending to be Gandhi, but also showing you, what the energy is. And it becomes immovable. You become a champion for your own peace in the serenity phase. And so we're serenity of bodies, serenity of relationships, and then tomorrow we're going to talk about financial serenity and how that is the key to lasting legacy wealth for you. So well beyond feast and famine. It's like, just be serene in your process so that you can have all of those things: a serene body, serene relationships, and serene financial resources, and you doing that. And so what else are we going to do? We're going to be looking at what is inside, like what is the core of what makes you feel serene. And, it's an inner child process, and I don't necessarily advocate, like, I'm not somebody who deeply goes into the inner child process unless I can see, okay, here's the wound. And we do talk about that in human design. There is a core wound in your process. What you've incarnated with is a core wound. And when we know what that is, then we can start to address it. And from a place of consciousness, not from a place of blame or shame or regret or guilt. It's like, okay, well, that's there. And, like there's this old design show that used to say, find a fault. What was it? Find a fault, make a feature. And so a part of healing this wound is like, what are the features of this wound? And so for myself, my wound is denial. And so like weekly, monthly, yearly, I have to actually have a look at what am I denying? And it's like, what am I denying that would create ease? What am I denying that would create ease? And I can create ease for myself. I can create ease for others, but not from the place and space of like, la, 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 everything's great, everything's grand. And yeah, so really, really important for me to look at my process. And then you will have one of 6 wounds that we can have a look at. And I would say at this point in time, one of the things in my chart is seriousness. And that is a shadow frequency for me. So sometimes people are like, why are you laughing? Why are you having so much fun talking about like people's wounds? I'm like, because it's fun. You know, for me, I have a Scorpio moon. I have like really dynamic Pluto placements. Like I want to go deep, 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 40,000 feet deep so that you can become what your version of success is. And like whatever that is, I don't get to say. And you would be very, very surprised, very, very surprised at how many people don't actually know what their own personal version of success is. You know, they haven't been even quizzed, you know. They haven't, and you can't be like, this is not a process. You know, 70% of the population are generators. And so they need to be asked questions that they can yes or no to, or they can get a frequency on. And then 50% of those are emotional. So they have to go through their emotional wave. And well, no, 50% of the population. So there's emotional projectors, emotional manifestors, and emotional reflectors as well. And so in the human design energy, most people need to be asked questions. Most people need to be posed like, hey, what about this? Is that success? Is that success? Is that success? So that you can get to an infinite space of what success feels like to you. Super, super important for you to be successful. And why? Why do I care about you being successful? Well, that's a frequency in and of itself, and it's a deep self-love frequency. Somebody who's successful, who's proven it to themselves, their own validity or whatever it is, like they're doing the right thing with the right people at the right time on the planet. Then when they go into the other places and spaces, they start to format the room. Do you know what I mean? The room gets formatted. And so any of those dark frequencies that are hanging around all the freaking time, they have to go. People start being changed by you at the frequency of success. Now that's your core people in your life, your inner circle people in your life, and then it starts to boom out from there. That's like a rock in a pond, you guys. Like you taking successful you out doing the things that you're supposed to be doing, your coaching, your consulting, your professional activities, you feeling that frequency of success and just like booming it out. Like just, you know, it makes me think, and I talk about this a ton, Dr. David Hawkins, the Hawkins scale. So success is like competence. Success is like real abundance. Success is a love frequency. And so that love starts to go out. The more successful that you are, the more you embody a deep sense of self-love, just the better it gets. But I tell you, when you are ready for this process, you know, like people are getting inconsistent feedback on their lovability. They feel like they have to do something in order to be lovable. You know, just they do. It's a song and dance process if they're ready for this process. And if they're ready for this process, they're not actually sure that they want to feel loved. And they don't know how they get that need met healthily in their primary love relationships. They just don't know. And it's an examination process if they're ready for that. And they're moving from creating a loving relationship based on exchange into one based on creationship, where both partners get to excel. So it's not tit for tat. It's not like, hey, I'll take care of this thing if you'll take care of that thing. It's two people coming together. And so do you need to know what your needs are? Yeah. It's very, very important for people to know what their primary needs are. And so the best way to do that is to know deeply, 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 and your charts tell you that, They tell me that, and then your aura tells me that, an inquiry process tells me that. Super, super important that you go through an inquiry process, or you and I would go through an inquiry process if you were ready to choose this. And, another thing that I see over and over again is people are worried that if they are truly themselves, that everything will fall apart. So that may be something that is sitting there for people, And I tell you, the more I am truly myself, the more my soul fractal partners start to show up. And that authenticness, there's a lot of talk right now about authenticity and you being you at a core level. But until you are invited to be you, you just can't. Like through the sovereignty process, which is the first part of the Sorceress of Success, I'm inviting people. I'm inviting them to be truly themselves. And saying, here's a frequency, here's a frequency, here's a frequency, here's a frequency. Like there's like a ton of different frequencies in your human design chart. So if you've seen it, there's your astrology, your Western astrology. And then there's a whole nother set of astrological placements that are from when your soul crystal came into your little baby body inside your mom. And so those have a bunch of programming in them too. And it's just, for me, it's so delightful. I'm a Virgo. I love data. Love it. And then also my placements are like my number one thing that I'm here to do is be in delight. Delight. And I remember when I heard about that, I was like, wow, I'm supposed to be delighted with what I'm doing like 80, 90, 100% of the time. And I tell you, when I'm like interfacing with you guys and talking about like how to have a more successful life, how to be the source of a more successful life, how to be a sorceress, how to manipulate the energy, how to manipulate yourself into having a more successful life in your body, in your relationships, in your finances. God, I just find it so freaking exciting. And I do get accused about, they're like, wow, you're talking about relationships. You're talking about wealth and money. You're talking about somebody's physical form. How can you be so relaxed about it? How can you be so happy? Well, it makes me delighted, you guys. And the highest frequency of what I'm here to be and do is ecstasy. It's ecstasy, guys. And I am ecstatic. I just get so jacked when somebody succeeds or dumps off something that allows them to just be unburdened by this process. And I would say in relationships, at the beginning, when we're going through your sovereignty phase, oh my goodness, you'll find it's humbling. It's like, how many freaking costumes have you put on, and what costume are you wearing for this person and this person and this person and this person? Gosh, it's just so heavy. And when you start to unburden yourself from those costumes, what can happen is amazing things. Like over the last 2 years, I've lost 75 pounds. 75 pounds. Like you can look at my old stuff, you're like, wow, Jennifer, you were juicy. Yes, I was. I'm still juicy. But yeah, lost 75 pounds using these tools that I facilitate, because we go deep into the body. We go into the body consciousness. We set the body free. We make the body the source. We start to include the body in the equation. And then we invite the body to a serene, peaceful place. Oh, so freaking good, you guys. I would say when people start to make decisions from a serene place that adds to a serene future, then serenity, it's like it becomes the seasoning of your life. You're just like, okay, that person's trying to bring me not serenity. I always have a choice. I always have a choice of choosing serenity. And, you know, regardless of what people's agendas are, you will have time always to choose serenity. And yeah, you will always have time to choose serenity. And so when somebody tries to bring you what's not serene in the process of working with me, what you're going to learn is they're going to continue to be them. And if they're not serene people, then you just know that about them, that they come in hot. And you're going to learn what to do with that, how to be with that. So it's easy for you to have what you love in your primary love relationships because you know what that is. And it's also easy for you to ask for more. And I would say people have been programmed to like, not bad. My relationship is not bad. Ew. Like, what would it be like for everybody to have a really juicy, gorgeous relationship, like 80, 90, 100% of the time? And you can do that by being authentically yourself. But if you don't know what those frequencies are, like, God, I spent so many years being serious. I got fired for not being serious enough. I mean, obviously I wasn't supposed to work there, but thinking about that, you guys, oh my goodness. So this is day 8 of a 9-day event called the Sorcery Salon. And I'm sharing with you my 9-step process called Sorceress of Success. I would love to invite you into a conversation with me. If you watch the videos, you're like, wow, Jennifer, I really want to talk about success and in a no pressure situation, and like, what's it going to be like for you to be way more successful, way more happy, way more loved, way more calm in your life? And if I can be the invitation to that, I would absolutely love that. That's exactly what I do. So tomorrow we are talking about financial serenity. So please join me at 2:22 Pacific Standard Time tomorrow. And if it's time for you to have a conversation with me, please just send me a DM. There's a link above or below. Take care. Super love you. Bye, guys.